Would you look at that face? A dozen local dogs will be making their national debut Sunday as part of the annual four-legged football game before the Super Bowl. We're, of course, talking about the Puppy Bowl. And this year, it features 3 shelters in Western Connecticut. Here's News 12 Connecticut's Marissa Alter.
Between the pandemic and politics, we could all use a little positivity. And this Sunday, the Puppy Bowl is back and bigger than ever before.
Oh, we're so excited.
It's Team Rough versus Team Fluff to win the coveted Lombardi Trophy. 12 dogs from Western Connecticut were among the 70 chosen to compete.
They invited only local shelters where people could drive.
This is actually Dawes' 4th year in the Puppy Bowl.
And this year, 9 pint-sized pooches were drafted from Danbury Animal Welfare Society, known as Dawes. Filming took place in upstate New York to accommodate social distancing.
You should definitely be on the lookout for Lucy. She definitely was a great participant and great player.
New to the big game this year is Ridgefield Operation Animal Rescue, or ROAR.
The 2 that were selected were named Moo and Hanson. One of them was a little bit more shy, I heard.
Executive Director Carrie Dobson says she wanted ROAR involved after noticing a dog from another local shelter in last year's Puppy Bowl.
Actually extend a little thank you to our friends over at Paws in Norwalk.
Paws, also known as Pet Animal Welfare Society, is back on the field, this time represented by this guy.
He was Mango here, and then his family called him Major, and the Puppy Bowl called him Todd Furley. So he's a puppy of many names.
All the local puppies you'll see Sunday have since been adopted, but there are plenty of others still looking for their forever homes. This is Holly from Dawes.
It's great for us to be able to be part of a larger movement to showcase the benefits of animal rescue and pet adoption.
We want to do anything that can forward that cause, so to speak. But it also brings publicity to the shelter.
These are some of our little ambassadors that go out to represent you.
Marissa Alter, News 12 Connecticut.
Culture.
Hi, News 12. I just won The Voice.
Community.
The first shot went into the arm of Port Washington nurse Sandra Lindsay.
Connections.
Seems like so much fun.
It was pretty hectic.
Discover News 12 New York.
Hey, look, we're happy, right?
A new way to see the best of News 12's local channels from across the tri-state area, all in one place. Now streaming 24/7 on your favorite devices. Discover News 12 New York today.
Long is too long to keep your Christmas lights up? That's the topic of conversation in Belmore and on social media tonight. News 12's Eileen LaPalmer has the details on this Christmas light fight.
From snowmen to reindeer to candy canes. It's February 3rd, but Christmas decorations are now in competition with Valentine's Day on some homes on Berkshire Road in Bethpage.
I actually said to my husband about a week ago, I said, are we those neighbors?
The mixing of the holidays apparently so offensive to one anonymous person, they took the time to type up this letter, put a stamp on it, and mail it to several homes on the block. It says, "Take your Christmas lights down. It's Valentine's Day."
I think someone who has too much time on their hands.
Brian Kelly is one of the people who got that nasty note.
Lights? That's your biggest problem right now, lights?
And right across the street is Sarah Pascucci. Her father, Anthony, and her Aunt Connie both died from COVID-19 in January.
Considering the circumstances, we didn't really find it funny. It actually was very hurtful.
And Sarah says every year her father loved decorating this house and took such pride in it. And now this is one of the last things he ever did for his family.
There's funeral arrangements and bills to, take care of. But it's also very hard to take something down that, your father enjoyed.
Sarah wrote a similar impassioned explanation on Facebook. The response? Overwhelmingly positive. In fact, many say they're putting their Christmas lights back up.
I'm down to bring Christmas back to us. Why not?
I think the whole block should put them on.
Like I have nothing else to do, so I might as well just go out and put a Christmas lights on.
It made me feel a lot better. So this letter is not even something that hurts anymore because of everyone's, love and support.
And if you could find out who the person is, would you knock on their door and speak to them?
I would, just ask for an apology and just remind them that, you should be kind, not mean.
In Bethpage, Eileen LaPalmer, News 12 Long Island.
K9 Simba out of service for the last time.
A retirement send-off fit for a king. Simba is a police dog in the village of Monroe. The K9 now has served the final tour of duty. The handler was also there, of course, for the send-off. The duo proudly walked past that crowd for the occasion. He's now enjoying retirement at his home with his handler. Good for that.
Well, some say the days of retail are numbered. Well, Clarkstown trying to prove those doubters wrong by welcoming a new big box store in Nanuet. News 12's Beth Cefalu brings us a first look.
I got a bunch of decor, a couple of fake plants, some baskets, some gold accents.
21-year-old Isabella Grix loves At Home and has already made 3 rounds in the brand new home decor store.
So when I heard that they were opening, I was just really excited.
The store now calling the shops of Nanuet home, filling what was a very big void left by Macy's, which closed 3 years ago.
It'll be 6-figure tax payment to the school district primarily, and to the town and county and special districts. So it's a big driver of revenue.
Celebrating 24 ribbon cuttings in Clarkstown in just the last few months, and more on the way.
Other new businesses in the town of Clarkstown include a new Shake Shack and Chipotle, and a complete redo of this plaza to include more restaurants and a hotel.
We would anticipate that if they get their approval within the next couple of months, that you might see construction on that by the end of the year.
A win for retail, battling online shopping and a pandemic.
You hate to see any businesses go out of business, but I feel like it'll be a good thing for everyone.
In Nanuet, Beth Cefalu, News 12.
And by the way, if you or someone you know is looking for work in this area, well, At Home is hiring. We have that information on our website. Just click numbers and links.
Thanks so much for joining us here on News 12 and over on news12.com. The first successful face and double hand transplant in the world, giving a 22-year-old man a second chance at life. This is incredible. And News 12's Emily Lorsch spoke with that man and the doctor who led his surgical team of nearly 150 healthcare professionals.
It just took one moment back in 2018 to change 22-year-old Joe DeMayo's life forever.
I was leaving a night shift at work. I fell asleep at the wheel and I just swerved off the side of the road and hit a curb, and my car caught on fire, burned 80% of my body.
He survived that traumatic crash, but since then, nothing has been the same.
He couldn't animate his face. His lips were scarred together. His fingertips were amputated. He really couldn't do a lot.
I basically just laid around on the couch all day and just watched TV.
But in August, he got a face and double hand transplant thanks to a surgical team from NYU Langone Health. Doctors there say it's the first successful combination transplant case of its kind in the world.
The first attempt in Paris, the patient actually died and never got out of the hospital. The second attempt, both hands failed at 5 days following the surgery.
But Dr. Eduardo Rodriguez and his team took on the challenge and successfully completed the 23-hour surgery.
Before, he couldn't dress himself, he couldn't feed himself. Unfortunately, he was dependent on his parents as caretakers, and that's no longer the case. The advances that I've seen in the evolution of his functional return are truly remarkable.
I play with my dog points. I can actually feel his fur, and it's really nice to have that feeling.
DeMayo tells us Dr. Rodriguez and his team changed his life.
I'm really happy I got it done. I would do it again if I had to.
Now that he can, he tells us he has plans to move out of his parents' home, and he also wants to get back to work and driving too. He tells us he's sharing his story to give others hope. Emily Lorsch, News 12.
Back up and running safely.
Nassau today laying out its plan to reopen catering halls, but there's still a lot we don't know yet. News 12's Shannon Orion explains.
Finally, we can have at least the amount of people we want.
That was the reaction from Patchogue bride-to-be Dafka Jean after Governor Cuomo declared last week that indoor wedding celebrations in New York State can start in mid-March. Now, future brides in catering halls like Crest Hollow Country Club in Woodbury are anxiously awaiting the specific guidelines. They know the guest list will be capped at 150 people, and they will all have to be tested for COVID-19. But what about masks? Nassau County Executive Laura Curran says that is just one example of an answer that the county does not yet have from the state.
So the catering halls can sort out details like, how does dancing work? What does a cocktail hour look like? What does the testing operation look like?
The county executive says she believes the state should include bar and bat mitzvahs, sweet 16s, and other social events.
We're working with the state to provide this clarity.
Nassau County Executive Laura Kearns said multiple events are allowed to take place at once as long as the events are staggered at the start time and end time and have a separate entrance and exit. This beautiful room at the Crest Hollow Country Club has been empty for almost an entire year now. CEO Richard Monty says he finally feels like there's light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm very positive about everything that's going on right now.
As for Dafka Jean, she was originally supposed to get married this June at the Milleridge Inn, but says to be safe, she's postponing until next year.
One day, pray God, eventually we'll have the wedding of our dreams.
Shauna Narine, News 12 Long Island.
I sure hope so too. Curran says more specific guidelines could come from the state as soon as next week. Suffolk officials say they too are waiting for the state to release additional guidance, but in the meantime, they're working with all of their industry partners on a plan.
Only on 12, a Shelton mom looking for the Good Samaritan who she says stopped to help her. Her car flipped over on the highway, giving her the scare of a lifetime. News 12's Frank Recchia with her story.
Oh my God, this is really bad.
35-year-old Lee Deppe of Shelton says she is very lucky to be alive. Less than a week after getting into a car crash that left the single working mom wondering if she'd ever see her home and family again.
The first thing I thought of was my daughter. I was like, oh God, you know, I could have died and left her without a mother.
She says she was going north in Orange on the Wilbercross Parkway on Friday morning when she hit a patch of black ice and lost control of her car.
I ended up kind of ping-ponging across the highway. At some point, the car was in the air and it was flipping. So it did skid on the side, but somehow it ended up upright.
Dazed and confused, Deppe says she got out of the car and was stumbling around on the highway until a Good Samaritan rushed over to help her.
You know, he was a handsome guy, and he was in his Army uniform, and so my brother was in the Army, so I kind of felt safe trusting him.
She says the man got her safely out of harm's way, then began giving her medical help until an ambulance arrived, rushing her to the hospital.
You know, I was very traumatized, and I didn't know which way was up and which way was down. I just want to say thank you so much for making sure that I was okay and taking the time to keep me calm and keep me from further injuring myself.
Deppe says the man was in his late 20s or early 30s and said he was from Norwalk, but she only got his last name, Gilbert.
I just need him to know how grateful I am.
A grateful mom who'd like to say thank you in person to the helpful man in uniform who made sure she got safely home to her daughter.
It's just really nice to know that there are people out there who will stop and go that extra mile for a complete stranger.
In Shelton, Frank Recchia, News 12, Connecticut.
Deppe says the Good Samaritan was driving a black SUV and mentioned that he had recently moved from New York to Norwalk. She's asking anybody who can help her find him to contact her on Facebook.
A police officer is talking about the life-saving detour he made on the way to his own swearing-in ceremony. He spoke to News 12 Connecticut's Mark Sudol today for this exclusive TV interview.
We saw a big cloud of smoke.
New Milford police officer Eric Wilcoxon says he was on his way to his department to be sworn in Friday when he saw this fire in Newtown.
I told my wife to call 911, and me and my two brothers went to the front door. We saw a man trying to exit. He was having some difficulty.
Officer Wilcoxon says the home on Hanover Road was filled with smoke, but he and his brothers rescued two men.
We went back a third time and saw an elderly female. So she was having difficulty walking.
They rescued all three people in the home. All their pets were also taken out safely.
We grew up in a law enforcement family, so kind of helping people's what we do.
And after all that, Officer Wilcoxon says he smelled of smoke, but he made it to his swearing in.
Made it 10 minutes early.
Police Chief Spencer Cerruto says he is proud of what his new officer did. Wilcoxon says he and his brothers would do it again to save the lives of complete strangers.
We know all about it, and we love doing it, and we love helping our communities. So it's instinct.
But Wilcoxon says he doesn't consider himself a hero. In New Milford, Mark Sudol, News 12 Connecticut.
Well, he may not, but you can bet Many others sure do. Fire officials are still investigating the cause of the fire. Officer Will Coxon was with the Stratford Police Department for the past 3 years before joining the force in New Milford. We'll be
I'm Tina Redwine with Chef Dave from Planet Pizza in Norwalk. He's going to teach us how to make his pizza rolls, which are like a sandwich, but not messy.
So first you're going to take your dough, 7 ounces. You put flour down first, press it out, get it to about 6-7 inches in diameter. First, you put all your toppings in the middle. This one we're going to do cheese and pepperoni. From where you put your toppings in the middle, you want to cut the edges off and turn it into a triangle at the top. And you're going to take it from the bottom, and you're going to roll it over. And then pull the last part of the triangle over the top to where it looks like. And you're going to bake it in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. And then this is what your finished product is going to look like, a stuffed pizza roll.
That looks fantastic. And this recipe is online. Just search for News 12 Connecticut Quick Tips Pizza Rolls. With Chef Dave, Tina Redwine, News 12 Connecticut.
Valentine's Day, you may not think of home improvement, but Lowe's hoping to change that with a night of Lomance. Oh yeah. Couples in 10 metro areas can enter to win a Valentine's Day evening of painting. It involves color choices, a huge canvas, splashing, rolling, and having fun. People outside the selected cities are being offered a virtual cooking class. I disagree. Agree to do my home improvement projects. I call that romantic, Rich. Very romantic.
You know, and even in our video, there's more women in the stores now than men,
right?
And they are much better than me. So,
help me
and
out.
a lot
I
of men.
got some redesigning to do.
And I think they have more home improvement shows now too, the women. So they're great. They can come fix my house anytime they want because I can't do it. I need help.
With all the snow, kids were out taking advantage of it today. Photojournalist Anthony Coco went to the Howell Municipal Complex to check out the scene there.
Beautiful day here in Howell at the library. We got a big hill, lots of people.
We used to go sledding on this hill all the time. Down in Ocean County, we have bupkis, so we came up to do some runs and have a good time.
We're having so much fun sledding, snowboarding, wiping out, falling.
There's a lot of jumps, it was a lot of fun. Went down my sled, my trusty old sled. I went fast on my snowboard, and I met new friends.
So you did your schoolwork. You got all caught up. You did your schoolwork just so you can come out and play.
Yep.
Well, during the pandemic, it's kind of hard, but it's a great time for some sledding. It's very happy.
It was nice because like the whole online and then going back to school was rough, so it was nice to come here and hang out with my friends and go down the snow.
You may or may not need to be in school. Do you have a message for any of your teachers?
Sorry, Mr. Hollingworth. I just had to go out in the snow and have some fun while it's actually here.
Come on. How can you punish that face? Kids were smiling, they were having fun, they were just being kids, and I think that's what we all need right now.
Clean up and the dig out could last a lot longer than that, especially in cities where cars buried under snow line the streets. News 12 New Jersey's Marcy Rubin joining us from Hoboken now with some advice for those, and I guess it's move it sooner as opposed to later, right, Marcy?
Yeah, those that have to move it sooner, well, there are options for you. Here in Hoboken, street cleaning doesn't take effect until next week, so there is time in this city anyway, but you can see there is still a lot of work to do. You guys were just talking about it. Cars covered in snow, cars packed in with snow thanks to the plow that came through the other day. We found a group here in Hoboken made up of young athletes and some local business owners who say they will get this job done for those who can't or just don't want to deal. The goal to keep the city safe and clean and help out local high school athletes learn a lesson, work out, and even make some money.
Pain in the neck. I never want to shovel again.
Daryl Scott speaks for many, digging out from what can best be described as a ridiculous amount of snow.
I called a Hoboken group to shovel this out, but they're completely booked for the next 2 days. So now I'm out here by myself. I would have paid up to $60 to $80 to just get this car out.
Some of us, well, we don't mind it, including yours truly, proving that by digging out on air during the December storm. But for those without interest, time, or ability, well, there's an app for that.
Hoboken High School graduate Curtis Lane works for Your Safe Space, a disaster preparation company which is part of the Heal Hoboken Collective, an alliance of local businesses helping others during the pandemic. They've teamed up with members of the Hoboken High School Red Wings football team to help dig out their neighbors in need.
Now we go out and shovel cars, like people from Hoboken could go through an app and then schedule an appointment and everything.
They do cars, driveways, and front stoops. After virtual school, it gets the student athletes out of the house, teaches them about helping others, and they earn a few extra bucks.
It gives them something to do, puts money in their pocket, keeps them doing a good thing.
Yeah, gives them something to do, keeps them out of the house for a little bit. All good things. Senior citizens here in town can sign up for that program for free. We have a link at news12.com for those who might be interested, for people outside of Hoboken who might need a little help digging out. Check your local Facebook pages. I found plenty just by doing a quick search. Kids looking to make a little extra money, or really their parents offering them up, supervised of course, to help you out of a snowy situation. In Hoboken, Marcy Rubin, News 12, New Jersey.
Culture.
Hi, News 12. I just won The Voice.
Community.
The first shot went into the arm of Port Washington nurse Sandra Lindsay.
Connections.
Seems like so much fun.
It was pretty hectic.
Discover News 12 New York.
Hey, look, we're happy, right?
A new way to see the best of News 12's local channels from across the tri-state area, all in one place. Now streaming 24/7 on your favorite devices. Discover News 12 New York today.